Hey there, Heather Ho, there's Jeff Cody. I'm welcoming you to yet another Above the Rim College Basketball Seasons Tourney. And this is the 1951 to 64 tourney where we have players from teams from between 1951 and 1964 as imposed by the Above the Rim basketball game. When you register the game, and you get the super pack with all the season sets. Like they'll give you some season sets and all that. There are some sets I have to pick up soon and try to make it a 16 season thingy of BLB. But nevertheless, we are doing 51 to 64, so great teams from from the 1950s and the early 60s, and the one per school rule is in effect. So anyway, one of our first games will be 61-62 Duquesne against 62-63 Providence, and Duquesne with the 79-75 win as 19 from Arnold, 18 from Somerset, 23 from Ernst, 18 from Flynn. None of these guys are really NBAers, so yeah, Duquesne with the win. Next up, 59 West Virginia and 59 Cal. I think these guys met in the semifinals or something like that. And West Virginia wins because of one guy named Jerry West, that is 25 points by him, 17 by Smith, Cali 498, Imhoff 22, Fitzpatrick 14. But yeah, Imhoff went to the NBA. He was one of the guys who the Sixers, though the Lakers traded to the Sixers for Will Chamberlain, if I remember correctly. So yeah, West Virginia with the win. 54 Kentucky, one of the early 50s teams. Kentucky against 1958 Temple. And it was Temple with the win, 90 to 80. Guy Rogers, 28 points. I thought he played for San Francisco, but yeah, he played for San Francisco, the Warriors, but I thought he played for the University of San Francisco. Brodsky with 26 points. Cliff Hagan, Frank Ramsey on that team. The 52 team was the one that got in trouble for point shaving, but yeah, Temple beats Kentucky. Good. 53 Seton Hall. Well, man, I put two Seton Hall teams. I wasn't supposed to do that. Freak. Well, 53 Seton Hall against 63 Notre Dame. And the Irish will lose to Seton Hall. 66-51, 25 from Dukes. No one massive for Notre Dame, but that's to be said. So, yeah, Seton Hall with the win. 59 Mississippi State against 63 Oregon State. Sees Mississippi State with the 69-67 win. 25 from Bailey Howe, who later played for the Celtics teams in the 1960s. Says I fart. 29 from Mel Counts, who played for. Did he play for Boston? Or I know he played in the NBA. But yeah, 12 points from Pierce. So yeah, Oregon State loses to M State. Next up, we have 57 Kansas with Wilt the Still Chamberlain in his one and only college season before he went to the Harlem Globetrotters and then went to the NBA. Because 1956 San Francisco. That's not fair. I mean, this is a team that won the national championship against a team that took second in the national championship. And in overtime, fittingly enough, wow, Kansas was up by 15 and nearly choked. But they won in overtime. Wilt the Still 51 points. Basically, he was a one-man team, even in college. 17 from Bill Russell with only 14. Casey Jones with 8. It doesn't work well for Russell when you have 5 fouls and you're booted from the game because in the NBA it's 6 fouls. In the college sports they're 5, and 4 of the San Francisco Dons actually got kicked out. Wow. Next up will be 54 Holy Cross with a young Bob Cousy against 61 Providence. Yeah, Providence. Why did I give them two teams? Holy Cross with the 68-67 win. No, it wasn't Bob Cousy. That's right. Bob Cousy was in 1950 when he was drafted. It was Tommy Heinsohn. Lots of 19 points. Handout 17, Ernst 14. I don't know why I gave Providence two teams, but yeah, Holy Cross wins by narrow margin. 58 Seattle, University of Seattle with Elgin Baylor against Arizona State, and ASU wins. Elgin Baylor put up 26 points. I don't know that, but ASU 28 from Becker, 23 from Caldwell. But yeah, so Arizona State beats Seattle. That's a big one for them. Next up, Seton Hall from 64 against New Mexico, 64, and Seton wins 72-59. Workman with 30 points, 20 points from Williams for New Mexico. And you got 62 Cincy against 63 Illinois. 62 Cincy that was the year they repeated as champions, but lost the 63 tournament to Loyola. Then Illinois was there too. And Cincy wins 69-66. Backer only getting 4 points in 33 minutes. That was unusual. 20 points from Hogue, 11 from Bonham. I wish it was the Oscar Robertson years. Illinois 14 from Small. Starnes with 13. So big win for those guys. And then we have ourselves 57 North Carolina, who won the tournament against Kansas in triple overtime against NYU, trying to get back from the point shaving scandal. And somehow North Carolina loses 75-63, 16 from Rosenbluth, 13 from Brendan Cunningham with only 6, Kearns with 11. NYU is S. Sanders is Satch Sanders, 13 points. Paprocki, 25 points. I have to know, is that Satch? That is Satch Sanders. Okay. Celtic. And 54 George Washington, 62 Wake Forest. And in the end, it is Wake with the win over George Washington, 80-63, 24 from Chapel. Billy Packer, 14 points. Future CBS analyst, 14 from Devlin, Carfer, and Holo. All right, so 12 preliminary round matches. Seton Hall actually went 2 for 2. They should not have had 2 teams. All that I'm apologetic. And Providence should not have had 2 teams in the thing. But they both lost. So never mind. All right. First off, we have 62 Cincy against 63 Loyola. Man, the luck of the draw, the unluck of the draw. You have the 62 champs against the 63 champs. And it will be the 63 champs winning 77-73 as Harkness with 22, Rouse with 13, 15 from Hogue, 15 from Yates. Packer can only score 5 points. But yeah, Loyola wins. 54 Holy Cross against 61 Utah with Heinzoin. And Heinzoin will lose to Utah. 81-77 as McGill put up 31 points, Palazzi 32, Heinzoin only had 14. Next up, we have 53 Indiana against 61-62 Bowling Green. And Indiana somehow loses to Bowling Green. Well, Nate Furman played for Bowling Green. That's right. I remember that. With my classic NCAA rosters, Nate Furman put up 20 points. Clements, 21 points. Leonard, 24 for Indiana in the loss. So Bowling Green with the win by 1 point. 57 Kansas with Mr. Will Still against St. Bonnie. And wow, 88-47. Triple only got 21 points. How the heck did St. Bonaventure crush them? 28 from Stiff, 22 from Crawford. I mean, of all people, St. Bonaventure? Okay. 54 Furman with the 100-point guy, Frank Selvey, against Bradley. And Furman wins. Selvey put up 32 points in 40 minutes, while Selvey once had 100 points in a game. Floyd with 22 points. Bradley with 23 from Owens, 19 from Walker. So we got that. 64 Seton Hall against 60 Ohio State, who won the national championship that year. And oh yeah, OSU winning at 106-67. Havlicek with 10 points. Jerry Lucas with 30. Larry Siegfried with 18. All big names. Even Bobby Knight, who was on the bench for Ohio State, contributed somewhat. 29 for Workman. But yeah, Seton Hall loses. Thank goodness for that, actually. 56 Dayton against 53 Washington. And Dayton in overtime. Washington tried. I don't appreciate the shooting guard's name, but that's the name it is. Paxton was 16, Ola was 16. Yeah, I guess Dayton, this was their first guy or something like that, right? 57 SMU against UCLA, one of the early champions of their dynasty, and LA wins 74-61. Gil Goodrich, future Laker. Will Hazard, future. Where did he play for? I can't remember. 15 points for him. Keith Erickson with 10, 15 from Krebs, 12 from Duncan. Yeah, they basically played without a shot clock, and that burdened them. 53 Seton Hall against 54 LaSalle. Tom Gola for LaSalle. And they win. So Seton Hall went over 2. So all is well. Tom Gola, 36 points. He was a one-man thing. Duke with 26. So LaSalle wins. 59 West Virginia with Jerry West against Temple. Hal Lear? You're thinking Hal Lear is on that team, but that can't be right. No, he's not. Rogers is. Guy Rogers is on the team with 14. Brodsky 25, but West Virginia wins 24 from Jerry West because he is Jerry freaking West. Next up, we have 64 Texas Western, aka UTEP, against M State with Bailey Howell. And Texas Western wins 75-64. 23 for Bards, 11 for Mortis, 19 from Bailey Howell, but they lose the game to Western. Next up, we have 56 NC State against 60 NYU. And NYU will move on to the round of 16, 75-69. 18 from Satch Sanders, penny number 14. 25 from Modelet for NC State. 62 Duquesne against 64 West Wichita. And the Wichita lineman wins 69-58. They only needed 7 players. 20 points from Arnold for Duquesne in a loss. 62 Wake Forest against 64 Duke. And a battle of the triangle. And in overtime, it was Wake Forest 104-100. 38 from Chapel, 25 from Billy Packer. Yes, that Billy Packer. 28 from Buckley, 26 from Mullins. Her serve 13. So, man, these two teams really had to fight each other tooth and freaking nail. 52-52 after one half. 63 Michigan versus 63 ASU. And it will be ASU with the win. 27 from Becker. 31 from Bunton. Cassie Russell was not on that team. I thought he was, but no. 64 K-State against 59 MSU. And the final score is Michigan State winning 90-75. 24 from Endrick, 14 from Walker, 23 from Merle for K-State. Michigan State up by 15. So now we're down to the final 16. First matchup is Furman versus Texas Western. You know, Frank Selvey and co. And they fell to Western. 42 from Barnes. Selvey had 23. Only 23. I guess when he plays good teams, he just can't score. That's the narrative. 61 St. Bonnie against 54 LaSalle with Tom Gola. And St. Bonnie with the win 93-72. 31 from Stiff. LaSalle, Gola had 29, but they lose. So, yeah, the 54th, I guess the older teams are going to fuck up. That's what they say. 63 Loyola, 63 ASU. Loyola, the defending national champs. And they proved they're the defending champs. 78-72. Harkness, Hunter, Rouse. Score. 20 points from Caldwell. Becker with 13. 60 NYU against 64 Wichita State. And New York wins the game 76-74. 21 from Satch Sanders. He's moving on. 40 from Stallworth for Wichita, but they're out. Dayton versus Ohio State. OSU, the national champs. They proved they won that title that year. They beat Dayton. 27 for Lucas. Siegfried with 11. Havlicek with 6. Bobby Knight, 4 points in a bench roll. And Paxton 14 for Dayton. 59 Michigan State against 59 West Virginia. Jerry West trying to win the win. And no, he doesn't. He only had 12 points. 16 from Patron off the bench. But yeah, 20 from Green. 28 from Collins in 31 minutes off the bench. Eek. For Michigan State with the gigantic W. 64 LA against 62 Wake Forest. LA the champs in 64 will win. No, Wake Forest wins. Chapel 48 points. He's playing by himself. LA can't believe it. Goodrich 23, Hazard 13. Well, they're not in the final four, so they won't get another spot. 62 Bowling Green and 61 Utah. Utah beats Bowling Green 29 from McGill. Nate Furman only 15 points. Bowling Green losing to the bigger school, Utah. Quarterfinals, best of 3. 61 Utah against 62 Wake Forest. And Utah sweeps Wake Forest. So Utah gets a team in the final four. Actually, the 37 Utah squad took 4 from the 75-79. But Utah gets into the final four. 29 from McGill, 15 from Reed. So Utah. 63 Loyola against 59 Michigan State. Loyola, the champs of 63. And Loyola proves why they won the national championship. They crushed Michigan State in the fine powder. 21 from Green, but 26 from Harkness and Egan with 20. So Loyola wins the match. 60 Ohio State against 60 NYU. Of course, Ohio State's the champ that year. And they prove why. They take down NYU 85-50 in game number 2. 30 from Lucas. Havlicek 11 points. Siegfried 14. Bobby Knight didn't score, but who cares? Satch Sanders only had 2 points. He had 4 fouls. And St. 61, St. Bonaventure, 64 Western. And it goes 2-2 straight. And it's St. Bonnie moving on to the semifinals. 24 from Stiff, 21 from Crawford. And win. Cards 24 for Texas Western. So St. Bonaventure will take on Ohio State, Utah, and Loyola. I think Utah, yeah, Ohio State doesn't have a team. Loyola doesn't have a team. Then top four. St. Bonaventure hasn't either. So I don't know. I don't know anything. It's going to game five. And it's going to be St. Bonaventure shocking the world by winning 83-79 and moving on to the finals. So they're at least a top two in this sectional. And with 16 tournaments, they're going to be at least a home team, 83-79. 33 from Stiff, 30 from Jerry Lucas, but Ohio State shocked. We loses. And there was no Bobby Knight this time. Ohio State was up 1-0 and then St. Body 2-1. Yeah, they split in Ohio State, they split in St. Body, and then St. Body went to Ohio State. Now, if Loyola beats Utah, Ohio State will take third. If not, we'll have to see what happens. No, Ohio State has to be third because they did lose in game five. Yep. 60 Ohio State will be third place because Utah, Loyola, whoever loses, will probably be like 5 games, but it'll be like loser. Loser take all. 2-2 tie. And in the end, it was Loyola who won over Utah. 78-59. 20 from Hunter, Egan 17, Harkness 16. They are the champs for a reason. 61 Utah takes fourth place. 21 from Reed. Loyola was actually up 2-0 and almost choked it, but Utah won both games at home. So we got 7 games. Spotted St. Bonaventure. They beat Will the Still. They beat Tom Gola. They beat John Havlicek. So they've had some big scalps, if we can call it that. Loyola, they took down 62 Cincy. Those were the champs. 63 Arizona State, 59 New Michigan State, 61 Utah. So Jerry Harkness doing that. So they don't really have the resume in this tournament like St. Bonaventure does, taking out all those guys. But St. Bonaventure wins in 5 games. Unreal. What a Cinderella run for St. Bonnie. They take down the 63 Loyola, Illinois champ Ramblers. So St. Bonaventure wins the championship of all teams at St. Bonaventure. I mean, I don't really think there were any NBAers. Well, Stiff with 29, Crawford with 18, which was cool. But yeah, the resume of St. Bonaventure in this tournament, taking out all these big names at big schools, like they had champions of the 60s, they shocked everyone, including myself, of course. 20 points for Egan. But yeah, St. Bonaventure beats Loyola. So St. Bonaventure will be given a top 16 seed in the ultra tournament, no matter what. But yeah, you took down Will the Still Chamberlain. You took down Tom Gola. You took down Texas Western. And then you took down Bobby Knight, John Havlicek, and the Ohio State Buckeyes. And then you take down Harkness and the Loyola team that won the national championship that year. So we're going to look at the stats. 27.4 points per game for Stiff, Crawford 17. They used a lot of people. And in the end, Loyola, Harkness with 15.7, Hunter 15.6. They used the same 5 starters throughout the day. But yeah, in the end, St. Bonaventure shocks everyone by winning the tournament. Loyola second, Ohio State third, and Utah takes fourth. So yeah, and then we're at a little bit of hiatus. I got to get the 87, 94, 2012, and 2025 tournaments to see who gets into the tournament and all that. Will my precious Arkansas Razorbacks prove me correct and get in? We'll see. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.